Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm diving deep into the tough question: does God still listen to our prayers if He already has a plan? Now, join me in this challenge as I challenge myself to explore this idea and share my thoughts. By the way, shout out to my friend Matt. He gave me this microphone. I hope the quality is good. And thank you, Matt, for your support, man. I really appreciate it. Now, the question is: does prayer still work when God already predetermined everything and wrote down everything? Prayer and God's plan are two concepts that many of us grapple with, especially when it comes to understanding how they intersect. At the heart of this discussion is a question that has puzzled believers for centuries, for 2 millennia, right? It's a question that gets to the core of our relationship with God. Many people feel a sense of confusion about the purpose of prayer when they believe God has a predetermined plan. He has already written everything. If everything is already set in motion, then what role does prayer play? Does it change anything? Does it change God's mind? Or is it simply a formality? Now, some might argue that if God's plan is unchangeable, then there's no point in praying. But that line of thinking overlooks the complexity of prayer and its role in our spiritual lives. Prayer isn't about changing, or isn't just about changing external circumstances. It's also about internal transformation. The confusion often stems from a misunderstanding of how prayer interacts with God's sovereignty. We might wonder if our prayers are just a drop in the big ocean, insignificant in this whole universe, in all of these things. But what if prayer serves a different purpose? One that's more about our growth rather than changing God's plan. Theologians and believers alike have wrestled with these questions. And there's a rich tapestry, a rich spectrum of of perspectives on prayer. Some see prayer as a way to align ourselves with God's will, while others view it as a means of influencing God. Now, obviously, God cannot be influenced, right? God never changes. But one key perspective is that prayer can influence our lives and our relationship with God, even within a divine plan. It's not necessarily about altering the plan, but about how we engage with it. For example, you guys know it when we are in a tough situation, right? I've already made some videos about it recently. I'm going to link them up here. A video about motivation if you feel stuck right now, or if you're just in a situation where you feel like you're in a hellhole. This is already written by God. So God works everything out for our glory, for His glory and for our benefit. But the problem is, many of us don't really see that, and we oftentimes forget that God is on our side, not against it. So prayer, for example, here's where prayer comes into play. Prayer doesn't necessarily change the outer circumstances, but it changes our internal thoughts and how we interact with the problem. So we will see the problem as, okay, it is a problem, but through prayer, especially the Jesus prayer, Lord Jesus Christ, Son of God, have mercy on me, a sinner, which is a fantastic prayer if you are in panic. If you are in panic mode, then this prayer can actually calm you down. Okay, it may not change your circumstances, but it's definitely gonna chill you out a bit. Through prayer, we can gain insight, find comfort, as I just mentioned, and deepen our faith. We can ask God for directions, and then boom, all of a sudden you get an idea, and you're like, yo, this is it. But it's an idea you'd never think of your own, think on your own. It's because God sent you this prayer, this idea. Prayer can also be a powerful tool for personal growth, helping us to cultivate empathy, compassion, and a greater sense of purpose. By engaging in prayer, we can become more more aware of our values and more attuned to the world around us. Moreover, prayer can bring us closer to God. It can strengthen our intimacy and connection with. This relationship is at the heart of many people's faith. And actually, it is what orthodoxy is all about. It's about the relationship with God. And this serves as a vital means of communication. It's like WhatsApp. It's like God doesn't have WhatsApp, but we have prayer. We can communicate with each other through prayer. Okay, or it's like an Instagram account. I already have made a video about Instagram, about what I saw on Instagram. It's something that is very important and something that confuses a lot of Christians too. It's about nationalism and National Socialism. It's a video, check it out. Many people on Instagram are crazy. Ultimately, the key insight is that prayer is not just about changing God's mind. In fact, you cannot change God's mind, but it's about deepening our faith and understanding. It's a way for us to engage with the divine, to engage with God, to seek guidance from Jesus, and to find peace in the midst of uncertainty. David prayed, Solomon prayed, and they had the biggest problems ever, right? Abraham prayed to God and, discussed things with God. In summary, our discussion is, and the point that I'm making is, prayer remains significant, even with God's plan. It's not just about changing external circumstances, but it's about how we grow and relate to God. If you've been grappling with these questions, I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. Your reflections and experiences can help deepen our understanding of this complex topic.